This is the evening news on TVC News Nigeria. I am Bukky. Senators-elect of the All Progressives Congress are at loggerheads over who should emerge as Senate President in the 8th Senate, which is to be inaugurated in 2 weeks' time. At the end of a 2-day retreat held by the APC in Abuja, but carnage continues in northern Nigeria, where at least 5 people have died and 19 others wounded in an explosion that ripped through a central market in Bauchi State on Monday. Eyewitnesses say the blast occurred near a police outpost inside the market. Reports of violence are also coming out of Central African Republic, where at least 20 people have been killed and dozens injured in the latest inter-ethnic clashes. Now, fighting began on Friday when mainly Christian anti-Balaka militias launched an attack against rebels of the largely Muslim former Seleka Alliance in Bambari. Last week, 28 people were killed in sectarian clashes in Imbre just days after a reconciliation ceremony organized by the United Nations Peacekeeping Mission. Relentless attacks by the mainly Muslim rebels on the majority Christian population spurred from Nigeria's former president Olusegun Obasanjo says the current challenges facing the country as a result of failure in leadership. He was addressing a good governance group in Abeokuta, Ogun State in the country's southwest. Tolulope Ogunjobi has the details. We are kicking off today's review of newspapers with the flag, the Vanguard. And a major headline here says Boko Haram abducts 191, kills 32 in Borno State. Now, this is really sad news, as this is coming only 8 months after schoolgirls, 276 schoolgirls were abducted. A young 13-year-old Zahra Babangida, who was used and who was deceived by a father, practically brainwashed, saying she would go to paradise if she was involved, if she became a suicide bomber. What do you have to say about fathers using their kids as suicide bombers? Yes,
if you look at the trend, of Boko Haram, you see the template that Boko Haram is following is the same template ISIS is following. The same template the Taliban is following. The same template you see Al-Qaeda operate. So it's a template.
Now, the SABC's board chairperson's resignation came as a surprise. What were reasons for stepping down? Now, there has been an upsurge in sectarian violence since the toppling of Francois Bozize's regime. Now, what is the interim president, Catherine? What is she doing about this? Because many feel she's not playing an active role. What is her role in all of this?
Well, she's the president, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces in Central African Republic, and of course, the...
Hello and welcome. I am Kemi Foladiemo.
And I am Bukky Babalola. The top stories. This an invaluable contribution to literature in Africa is the meticulous way you told the story of Isaac Fatoyebo. So tell us your challenges. I'm talking about the literary challenges, the logistical challenges when it comes to writing this book now.
Well, I've spent 25 years as a reporter, doing the day's news, and often you have to get ready by lunchtime, and it's very quick and immediate, and that's exciting, but it's also superficial.
You know what is most fascinating is the fact that you took out time to actually meet Isaac Fatoyebo and the Muslim family who saved him. So what is most memorable, if you can remember way back now, what is most memorable from the meeting?
Well, there were two. The first moment I met Isaac Fatoyebo, I was very happy because I'd found his document in a library in London. I thought it was incredible, and I thought I did not dare to believe my luck that this gentleman was still alive, because it had been written some 20 years earlier.
Pressure is mounting on the Kenyan government to drop its hardline stance on a new legislation which, if passed by the National Assembly, would affect the basic rights of its citizenry. As Ken Karuri reports, Kenyan authorities maintain that the proposed legislation, which could come into effect on Thursday, will help the country fight rising insecurity. This is the midday news on TVC News Nigeria. I am Bukky Babalola. Loading of petroleum products commenced at fuel depots in Apapa, Lagos on Monday afternoon, although Nigerians are still counting the cost of the crippling energy crisis. The resumption of product loading followed the suspension of the strike by marketers and workers of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. 2 marketers confirmed the development. In Abuja, marketers of petroleum products resolved to mobilize their members for the immediate distribution of fuel across the country. This is the evening news on TVC News Nigeria. I am Bukky Babalola. The headlines. Federal High Court orders NDLEA operatives to vacate Lagos resident of Ogun East Senator-elect Buruji Kashamu. Femi Gbajabiamila and Mohammed Mongono team up for speakership and deputy speakership positions of the House of Representatives. On the foreign scene, fire outbreak at a care home for elderly people in China kills 38 people. And in sports, Nigeria's Flying Eagles arrive Switzerland ahead of FIFA Under-20 World Cup tournament. Details coming up. Thank you for staying with us. A federal high court in Lagos has ordered the more than 50 operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. While the scarcity of fuel continues to ground business activities in Nigeria, the country's president, Goodluck Jonathan, is preparing to hand over power to a newly elected president, Muhammadu Buhari, on May the 29th. But there are worries about the kind of economy it would hand over to the new government, especially at a time he's yet to resolve issues of subsidy claims with major oil marketers. This is the midday news on TVC News Nigeria. I am Bukky Babalola. Senators-elect of the All Progressives Congress are at loggerheads over who should emerge as Senate President in the 8th Senate, which is to be inaugurated in 2 weeks.